and we are reading The Wind in the Willows. He's already asleep, but I'm still going to read. And today was the last day of school, so he wiped out. He played pretty hard. And part of parenting, I feel like, is eating the leftover candy that they don't want. Like, what's up with these? These things are terrible. They really are. They really are. That's all that was left. He said, they're SpongeBob, I don't want them. And I was like, well, I'll try them. And then he's really right. They really are terrible. I don't recommend it. Okay, let's get into our story. Let's see. The badger looked at him very suspiciously, but Toad's frank, open countenance made it difficult to suggest any unworthy motive in this change of attitude. Hi, Barcelona. Hi, Josie. What's up? How's it going? Happy last day of school, Josie, if that's you. If you had a last day too. In Barcelona, you too. Happy last day of school. And we are still picking up where we left off. I'm going to keep reading, you guys. The badger, the badger looked at him very suspiciously, and Toad's frank, open countenance made it difficult to suggest any unworthy motive in this change of attitude. He quitted the room accordingly in the direction of the kitchen, and as soon as the door had closed behind him, Toad hurried to the writing table. A fine idea had occurred to him while he was talking. He would write the invitations and would take care to mention the leading part he had taken in the fight, and how he had laid the chief weasel flat. And he would hint at his adventures and what career of triumph he had to tell about. And on the fly leaf, he would set out a sort of. Let's see. Hi, Johnny Fandom. Oh, it's been a while. How's it going? Or Fondant, I'm sorry. Johnny Fandom, it's been a while. Welcome back to the CrispySkates show. And thank you. You're so kind. And everybody, we're celebrating summer vacation. And that's very sweet, Johnny. Thank you. A program of entertainment for the evening, something like this, as he sketched it out in his head. Speech by Toad. There will be other speeches by Toad during the evening. Address by Toad. Synopsis: our prison system, the waterways of old England, horse dealing, and how to deal property, its rights and its duties. Back to the land, a typical English squire. Song by Toad, composed by himself. Other compositions by Toad. He will be sung in the course of the evening by the composer. The idea pleased him mightily, and he worked very hard and got all the letters finished by noon, at which hour it was reported to him that there was a small and rather begrattered weasel at the door, inquiring timidly whether he should be of any service to the gentleman. Toad swaggered out and found it was one of the prisoners of the previous evening, very respectful and anxious to please. He patted him on the head, shoved a bundle of invitations into his paw, and told him to cut along quick and deliver them as fast as he could. And if he liked to come back again in the evening, perhaps, there might be a shilling for him. Or again, perhaps there's mitten. And the poor weasel seemed really quite grateful and hurried off eagerly to do his mission. Aw, thank you so much. I hope that I will have a good night, Barcelona. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Johnny, I feel like that was you that was in the hospital. And if it was, I hope you're doing better. I just wanted to say that really quick. The other animals came back to the luncheon and very boisterous and breezy after a morning on the river. The mole, whose concise had been pricking him, looked doubtfully at Toad, expecting him to find him sulking or depressed. Instead, he was so uppish and inflated that Mole began to suspect something, while the rat and the badger exchanged significant glances. As soon as the meal was over, Toad thrust his paws deep into his trouser pockets, remarked casually, "Well, look after yourselves, you fellows. Ask for anything you want," and was swaggering off into the direction of the garden, where he wanted to think out an idea, or coming speechless when the rat caught him by the arm. Toad rather suspected what he was after and did his best to set away, but when the badger took him firmly by the other arm, he began to see that the game was up. The two animals conducted him between them into the small smoking room that was open out of the entrance hall, shut the door, and pulled him into the chair. Then they stood both in front of him while the Toad sat silent and regarded them with much suspicion and ill humor. "Now look here, Toad," said the rat. "It's about this banquet, and very sorry that I am have to speak to you like this. But we want to understand clearly for once and for all that there are going to be no speeches and no songs. Try to grasp that fact, that on this occasion we're not arguing with you. We're just telling you." Toad saw that he was trapped. They understood him. They saw through him. They had gotten ahead of him. His pleasant dream was shattered. "Maren't I sing them just one little song?" he pleaded piteously. "No, not one little song," replied the rat firmly. Through his heart bled as he noticed the trembling lip of the poor disappointed Toad. "It's no good today, Toady. You know well that your songs are..." Hold on just one second. Filmed by Haley. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Thanks for being here. "All conceit and boasting and vanity, and your speeches are all self-praise and, well, and gross exaggeration. and gas. Put the badger in his common way. It's for your own good, Toady, went on the rat. You know, you must turn over a new leaf sooner or later, and now seems to be the splendid time to begin a sort of turning point in your career. Please don't think that I'm saying that all this doesn't hurt me more than that hurts you. Toe remained a long while plunged in thought, and at last he raised his head, and traces of strong emotion were visible on his features. You have conquered, my friends, he said in broken accents. It was, to be sure, but a small thing I asked, merely leave to blossom and expand for yet one more evening, to let myself go and hear tumultuous applause that always seems to me somehow to bring out my best qualities. However, you are right. I know I am wrong. Henceforth, I will be very different, Toad. My friends, you shall never have occasion to blush for me again. But, oh dear, this is a hard world. And pressing his handkerchief to his face, he felt the room with flattening footsteps. Badger, said the rat, I feel like a brute, and I wonder what you feel like. Oh, I know, said the badger gloomily. But the thing had to be done. This good fellow has got to live here and hold his own and be respected. Would you have him a common laughing stock mocked and jeered by the stoats and the weasels? Of course not, said the rat. And talking all the weasels, it's lucky we came upon that little weasel just as he was setting out with the toad's invitations. I suspected something from what you told me, and he had a look at one or two. They were simply disgraceful. All right, we're gonna pause right there to leave the last pages, y'all, for June 1st, or last day of The Wind in the Willows, I believe. And then on to our next reading, which will be, as of right now, The Golden Age. I'm still waiting for confirmation on the other book that I have confirmation to read that one too. So that's gonna be a surprise. Woohoo! Yay! And thank you all for subscribing, and thank you all for being here. I love you all so much. Thank you for your support, Barcelona. You guys, we have content creators in the chat. Check them out. I've checked them out. There's some pretty cool people here. We got Barcelona, filmed by Haley. We have Miss Josie. They have some pretty cool stuff. Check them out. I adore you all. Thank you for your support, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Until then, good night, sweet dreams. Keep it crispy. Peace out.